doing an update on my products that I want to use up in 2015. I meant to do this halfway through the year, so I'm about a month late on this, but I figured I would go ahead and do it anyway because I want to share with you guys how I'm doing on the products that I wanted to use up, and then what I'm going to do moving forward with the ones that I'm not done with. So I have basically 4 categories. So the first category I have is the products that I used up. So I have a list over here on my computer. I have used up the Sonia Kashuk Hidden Agenda Concealer Palette. I used up the Hard Candy Concealer Stick. It was like a little pencil thing. It was pretty small. It didn't take very long to use up. I've used up the L'Oreal Youth Code Texture Perfector Pore Vanisher. The Benefit Ooh La Lift, the Milani Shadow Eyes Pencil in Champagne Toast, the Revlon Colorstay Blemish Concealer in Fair, and then I had a goal to use up 5 eyeliners, and then I've used up 2 so far. I used up the Urban Decay eyeliner in West, and then I also used up the NYX Slide-on Glide-on eye pencil in Jewel. And then I made it the goal to use up 10 lip products, and so far I have used up 2 chapsticks, 2 little mini Urban Decay lip glosses, and then 1 Benefit Posie Balm. So I've used up 5 lip products so far. So those are the things I've used up so far. For my opinions on those things, I will link you to my empties playlist, because if you look through that from the beginning of the year, you will see my thoughts on all of those things that I finished up. My next category is kind of the unknown category. It's stuff that I haven't used yet, and I don't really want to put it in a project pan, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with it. Most of those are foundation samples. So all of the foundation samples that I mentioned in that video, I have not used up. So I have the NARS Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer, and this one is in St. Mart's Medium. And this one I figured would be too dark for me, so I haven't used it yet, and that's the same with a couple of these other ones. But my goal is to self-tan again before I go back to school, and then hopefully use these during that time. So hopefully the beginning of this next week I'll self-tan, and I'll try to use these, and that way they'll be done. The same thing with the Lancome Tint Idol Ultra 24 Hour. This one's in 310 Bisque, which I'm pretty sure is going to be too dark for me. And then also the YSL Le Teint Incre de Bois in B30 Almond. I'm sure that all of those are going to be too dark for me, so I'm going to self-tan, and then hopefully I will use those up when I self-tan, and then they will be out of my collection. I have used up other foundation samples that were more my color. I just haven't used up those. The other things that I have is actually four samples here, and these are a set of Hourglass ones. So there's the Immaculate Liquid Powder Foundation, the Veil Fluid Makeup, the Illusion Tinted Moisturizer. All of those I think will be in my colors because it's an ivory and shell and porcelain, so I think those should fit me when I'm not self-tanning. So I'm going to put these aside as kind of a goal to use those up in the near future, because I think I just moved them out of the way and I forgot about them and I didn't come back to them. So I'm going to put those aside so that I can make sure to use those here pretty soon. The next category I have is the to throw away pile. So there are 2 things that I had in my previous videos that they've gotten so old that I probably shouldn't use them at this point. Like, the consistency on this one has changed and it's very, very oily. And so a lot of you guys commented on my last one when I did this just to get rid of it, and I think that's what I'm going to do. This is the Tarte Tipsy Cheek Stain. I've had this for over 2 years now, I think, and the recommended shelf life of it is 6 months. So it's just time for it to go. I've had this for a really, really long time, and I've barely ever reached for it, so I should just get rid of it. The other thing that I'm going to get rid of is the Sonia Kashuk Undetectable Cream Bronzer in Warm Tan. This one I was going to try to force myself to use, and I've used it a little bit. There's a little bit of a dent, but it's just such a yellow or such an orange color that it doesn't look very nice on the skin. I tried to use it today and I hated it. So I've had this for over 2 years as well, so I've decided that I'm just going to throw those both away because they are cream products. They don't last nearly as long, and I'm not going to use them, and they're so old that I can't pass them on to anybody else. So I'm just going to throw those 2 away, or at least put them in my empties and then get rid of them. There were a couple more things in my kind of random didn't go in a pile collection. So those are things that I am not going to put up. I'm not going to put in a project pan right now, but at some point I would like to try to use them up soon. The first thing is my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. This is getting pretty old. It's not as creamy as it used to be. I could probably pop it in the microwave and it might be okay. But this is sometime soon. I need to try to use up, but I've been trying to use up some eye bases instead first that are pencil form. So I'm going to try to use those up first, and then we'll see how much time I have left at the end of the year, and then I'll try to get to this one. Also in that category is the Benefit Girl Meets Pearl Highlighter. This is just a pretty like pink toned highlighter. What I think I'm going to do for right now, I haven't used this more than 1 time probably because I've been trying to use my Benefit What's Up highlighter, which I've made really good progress in. But because of that, I haven't been using this much. So what I'm going to do, I'd mentioned this one, and then I also mentioned the Benefit Sunbeam highlighter. And so for right now, I think I'm going to put the Sunbeam one in a project pan and mix it in with my foundations while I am still more tan than I would normally be, I guess. And so I will do that for now, and then get as much use of that out of that as I can. And then as we move into fall, I'm going to trade that out for the Benefit Girl Meets Pearl. So I'm going to be using these in the same way, basically, where I mix them into my foundations, but I'm going to trade them off so that they're seasonally correct. My other category that I had was a project pan category. So I'm going to be doing a whole separate video on a project pan, but for now I'm going to show you guys the products that are from this project that are going to go in that. So the first thing I had was the e.l.f. High Definition Powder. This I have been using since I finished off my other powder that was in my project pan. It was an Urban Decay one a little while back. And this one I've definitely made progress in. So it is down to here now. It's right about here. It's such a messy powder, but it does an okay job, I guess. I'll be glad when it's gone because it's just such bulky packaging, and it's definitely not the best powder that I've ever used, but I'm going to try to use that up next. I also have a highlighter. So, well, highlighter, concealer, and brightener. So this is the YBF Brighten, Hide, and Sculpt Concealer. This I pushed to the back of my drawers and just kind of forgot about, so that's going to be the next concealer that I put in my goals to finish up. I have two eye pencils. I have the Beaute Bright Eyes eye pencil, which is just like a champagne color. This I've been using, it was in my Finish 4 by 4th of July, I think. And I definitely have made progress since my last one. There's not nearly as much as there was, but I'm going to try to finish that up first. And then once I finish that, I'm going to move on to my NYX Milk Jumbo Eyeshadow Pencil. Then I have this blush, and this is the L'Oreal Paris Magic Smooth Souffle in Cherubic. And it's just a natural color. This is a really pretty blush. It's kind of messy, but it's really pretty. So I've been using this underneath my powder blushes, and this I don't think will take that long to use up. I have three eye pencils. I have the Makeup Forever eye pencil in 0L, and this is just a regular black eye pencil. I have the Urban Decay Slide-on Glide-on eye pencil in Uzi, which is just a gray. And then I have the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide-on eye pencil in Empire, which is just a purple. So all of those I think I'm going to put in a project pan in my goal to kind of use those up. And I will talk about those more in a separate video. The last thing that I mentioned in those two videos is the Dr. Jart Black Label Detox BB Beauty Balm. There cannot be that much left in this one. My skin is so oily that this is kind of a problem to use, but I want to use that up soon, so that's also going to go in a project pan, and I'm probably going to try to finish that up in the next couple days, actually. That is my update for where I'm at with the products that I want to use up in 2015. I would say about a third of the products I did get used up. I am going to put a huge chunk of them in my project pan and see how that goes, and then I will definitely use up those foundations, and that'll be a good chunk of it as well. So that's where I'm going with my products that I want to use up. I plan on updating again at the end of the year, so when we come around to December, I will try to update one more time. I will link the two original videos in the down bar if you're interested, if you haven't seen those before. There were two because I forgot a bunch of products that I wanted to mention in one of them. If you guys are working on a project to use it up for the year, I would love to hear it. Or if you're doing any project pans, same thing, I would love to hear those. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.